On Christmas, NASA launched the James Webb Space Telescope, or JWST. It's the largest space telescope to ever be built, dwarfing the historic Hubble Space Telescope in size, as well as scope. And at the time of this filming, JWST has had a successful initial launch and is now going through its 6-month unfurling and diagnostics process, which might seem slow until you realize how massive and intricate the engineering is that went into this telescope. Now, if you're not a huge fan of astronomy or space, you might not realize what a monumental moment this is, not just for NASA or the scientific community, but for all of us. And as I got more curious about this whole story, which is 26 years long, I started realizing how important this technology potentially is for the future. See, what's really unique and interesting about JWST is not just that it's the latest and greatest telescopic imaging device that we're going to be using to get greater detail, to see farther, to get better resolutions of galaxies and nebulas far away. It certainly is going to take a gigantic leap forward in its technological abilities. But it's going to be the first space telescope of its kind that will be able to capture infrared light, which is going to be quite literally a game changer for astrophysicists and astronomers. And the reason why this is so significant is because up to this point, we've relied on visible light, the whole Roy G. Biv spectrum, to tell us what our surrounding galaxies and nebulas are like. But visible light limits what we can see, what data we can extract, and what we can ultimately deduce from those images. Think about all of the iconic pictures of space in our school textbooks and on the internet. Most of those have come from our beloved Hubble telescope, which gathers visible light exclusively. In contrast, the infrared spectrum of light is very, very interesting because not only is it a longer wavelength, it also carries much older information. And so this is the most exciting part. JWST is now able to capture and render infrared light. And infrared light can be as old as 13.6 billion years. That's light that has been traveling through the universe since the earliest stars came into existence. And what that means is that somewhere out there is light that, if we're able to capture it using this telescope, can actually render images of the earliest happenings in the universe. And that'll allow us to see kind of the origin story of this reality. JWST may be a telescope in its form, but really the primary function is more like a time machine. It allows us to peer into the cosmological origins of the universe. And that means in one gigantic leap, technology for the first time can help us pull back the heavy, opaque veil of ancient history. If that's the case, then JWST is not an extension of the eye, but of time. And whether you're an astrophysicist or a historian or a semiotician or just someone who's interested in the origin of all things, this is an exciting proposition for new discoveries, breakthroughs, and insights into how our universe works and how this reality that we live in actually functions. If we know what has happened in great detail, maybe we'll have a better understanding of who we are. In the next decades, we are going to be able to see and tell the earliest stories of how our universe came to be. How might that change how we think about who we are, our place in the universe, how we think about origin, how we think about destiny? How might that inform how we move forward as a species, and what questions we might ask in the near future? What mysteries will be kind of discovered as we discover more understanding of where we've come from? See, we're not just talking about stars, we're also talking about really important and big questions about our very existence. My favorite quote about all of this comes from NASA astrophysicist Amber Strachan, who has been working closely on this project for over a decade. She sees JWST as not only the fruition of a 25-year-plus journey driven by a quest to seek knowledge and understanding, but also the catalyst to incredible breakthrough as well as the breaching of a new frontier of mysteries and questions that will invariably set us on a new charter for scientific research. She says in a Vox interview, we have all these specific plans, these specific things we want to learn, but I think the most awesome thing we'll end up learning with this telescope we haven't even thought of yet. Because when we increase our technology by such an extreme amount like this, I think it's inevitable that we'll find something that completely surprises us and causes us to rethink how we understand the universe. What this sparks in my mind is the excitement of the unintentional discoveries that are bound to happen whenever human beings forge into the uncharted. I love this idea. JWST has the potential of reshaping science and philosophy, how we learn, what we teach, what we question, even the very course of human endeavors in the future. It signifies the pinnacle of human curiosity, but at the same time, it also is the beginning of a new level of awness and wonder. And I believe that this will become a conduit to inspire goodness, to inspire wonder, to inspire a new curiosity. Perhaps like Galileo and Copernicus before him, our endeavor to pursue the truths that lay out there will perhaps give us insights into who we are and why we are here in the first place. Perhaps it'll point to a creator. And that's what's so incredible about this era that we've just entered with this new telescope. Thanks for watching The Inevitable Church. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Peace.